Good morning and welcome to Gospel Bytes, where we take a bite of the gospel for the day. I'm back from our pilgrimage from Medjugorje, and so we begin. Today is Saturday, April 18th. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Glory to you, O Lord. This is taken from John chapter 6, verses 16 to 21. After feeding the crowd, Jesus withdrew to the mountain by himself. When evening came, his disciples went down to the sea, got into a boat, and started across the sea to Capernaum. It was now dark, and Jesus had not yet come to them. The sea became rough because a strong wind was blowing. When they had rowed about 5 or 6 kilometers, they saw Jesus walking on the sea and coming near the boat. And they were terrified. But Jesus said to them, "It is I, do not be afraid." Then they wanted to take him into the boat, and immediately the boat reached the land toward which they were going. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Today, Jesus warns us or tells us about fear. He's saying, as long as I am here, you have nothing to fear. That was the only explanation Jesus had. It's me, don't be afraid. Normally, when I travel, um, or go on a pilgrimage, there's some people that I trust that as long as I know that they're there, I don't have to be afraid. When we have a group of pilgrims, when we go to different places, the tourist guide, the one person who knows where we were going, what we were going to do, he or she would have a flag or maybe an umbrella or a scarf. And you look for that scarf. As long as you see that, then you shouldn't be afraid. you But the moment you don't see that, that's when you start to worry because you don't you don't feel safe anymore. Oftentimes when I'm with a group, um, the whenever we travel from place to place, the guide would be on the front and I would stay at the back so that I can see that nobody is left behind. And some people they think that as long as they see me, then they're okay, they're safe. So sometimes they would go shopping or they would go somewhere else and they say, "Oh, the father is still there, so we're okay. We won't get lost." Well, so they always look at the guide, and I look at the guide too, and then they look at me. So we always have these people around us whom we trust. As long as they are there, there's nothing to fear. I always tell people, I grew up from where we weren't rich, and we weren't that poor either, but as long as my parents were there, we never worried about not having to eat anything in the evening or during the day, and our needs would always be met as long as they were there. Yeah? And we were so fortunate, we were so blessed because our parents were always there, and so we never felt that we had to worry about anything. When my father died, that's when we kind of started to, well, at least myself, I thought that, if I get into trouble, there's nobody who's going to bail me out again. I remember a priest who um, told me when his father died. I told him, you know what, um, just like me, your father died. Normally, they are the ones who bail us out when we're in trouble. I say, yeah, that's true. We're orphans now, and we were in our 50s already, but it still felt that even when we're older, when these people whom we trust are there, then we have nothing to fear. In our spiritual life, as long as we know that Jesus is close by, as long as we're doing His will, no matter how difficult, no matter how dangerous our lives may be, no matter what problems come our way, even death, uh, we should not fear because that's what Jesus said, "I'm here." You know, and they were facing a storm which was deadly because they were at sea; they could die anytime. But the only thing Jesus said, "Don't worry, I'm here." You have nothing to fear. So, whatever sickness or problems or worries that you are facing, uh, and Jesus even said, even if or God even said in the book of Isaiah, even if a mother forgets her baby, I will never forget you. Uh, And even the name Emmanuel means God is with us. So for a Christian, fear and faith are two opposite things. Now, we fear because we think we're all alone. I'm driving the car. I'm doing my own thing, and I'm afraid because I'm afraid of failure. I know I'm going to fail. But when we have faith, then we know we're not the driver. That we're not alone. God is in control. Whatever happens, it will be for a meaningful purpose. So I don't have to fear anything. So have faith and do not fear. Jesus is near. I'm Father Jerry Sembrano for another edition of Gospel Bites. God bless you. Have a nice day.